Blog Talk Radio.
I'm good. You're real low, Yvonne.
How about now?
Oh, much better. What the hell was you in a can?
Oh my gosh! I had my mic down low. Hello everyone. I'm Yvonne LaCharles from Yvonne LaCharles Podcast. Everybody, I hope you all heard what I said, but I said what I said when I said what I said. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody! I'm so happy. I'm so happy today.
You sound like you happy. Like you all right over there? Because you said you had the mic low. I don't know if you was reminiscing. You know, it's been a minute since you was on a date.
Listen. Oh, my gosh. Let me tell you.
I said it on the air. I fucking said it. Yes, I did.
But no, you know what? I let me tell you what happened. I forgot all about this. I forgot to tell you this. A few days ago, I had a dream, and out of all, listen, I had a dream, but listen, out of all people, Lil Bow Wow.
Oh shit.
Hell, no disrespect. He's a cute little boy. I mean, yeah, he's a man, but he looks like a little young boy, and I like a grown man. I dreamed that Lil Bow Wow gave me some oral sex, and it felt real. It felt real.
Oh shit! You was in a puddle when you woke up.
Yeah, something
you
like
plead
that.
The fifth?
It felt so real. I woke up, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I came. It felt so. That is a true story. This actually happened. And I'm like, why this going to be Morris Chestnut? Damn, Lil Bow Wow? Damn.
That probably came from the conversation we had the other night on the show.
Damn.
I wonder if you got your butt plugs and all that yet.
No, I didn't say I was getting a butt plug. That wasn't me. I said what was a butt plug. But
I don't know, boy. you having fantasies of Bow Wow and shit.
It felt real. It should have been Morris Chestnut. But
was y'all on 106 in Park?
In other news. I had so I got an email from a guest, and they want to know if we can do like Q&A, like some of the people, they want to ask us questions. So I think that's something different. Like, if you are okay with that, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Sure, hell yeah. I'm you know me, I'm game. I'm always game.
Okay. Well, we probably may do a little segment in a little while. If anybody want to ask us questions and answers, you are more than welcome to. If let's see, so if you guys want to call us live, the number here is, what is the number? 563-999-3548. Again, that number is 563-999-3548. If you want to come on the show live, you guys can catch us live. We do have people on here now, so you guys can always catch us live. And also, you guys can email us or you can text the podcast, and SC and I will definitely get those questions that you are dying to access. The number to the podcast is 305 305-204-3371. Again, that number is 305-204-3371. And don't forget to call us. Call the show live is 563-999-3548. But yeah.
All right, shit, yeah. Let them. Okay. You guys say something?
No. I thought you was gonna say something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say shit. You know me, I'm game. I'm game to you know, I'm an open book. You know, so shit. I think that would be interesting. You know, like some
Okay, well, I do
somebody...
see. Okay, well, if you want to, we can take a call. All you have to do is raise your hand, and we will probably take a call. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Having a little issue with the system, but we will end up taking a call.
I know. I think your mind is cloudy because of that little Bow Wow incident.
Okay.
Like, wow. All people, shit.
Right.
You know. But hey, you could have been Romeo.
No, it shouldn't have. It should have been Morris Chestnut. But I'm going to take a call if you don't mind. I see a few people with their hands up, so if you want to take a call right now, and Essie.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Well, I'm trying to let him in. Hello.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, hi. How are you?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm all right. What's going on, SC? And I forget your name, Miss. But my name is Dave Vaughn. I'm calling. I'm calling Dave Vaughn from Memphis.
Okay.
I like your show so far. What's this thing about the butt plug thing y'all was talking about? That was crazy.
Say that again.
I said, what's the thing about that butt plug thing y'all was talking about? That was crazy. That was a crazy
man,
way to come
in. Yo, so a couple of days ago, we had porn star Lucas Storm on Stone. I said Storm, Lucas Stone, and we had Pandora, and we had another young lady come on the show, and it was basically we was interviewing him, and he had a couple of questions for the girls, and so we said that we were gonna start doing a Freaky Friday. We're gonna just start opening it up, and we just get a couple of people on the show. We just get a Freaky Friday. Right now, we're gonna bring Lucas back on the show, and we're gonna probably bring Envy Star. She's another porn star that we want to bring back on the show. So. Okay. So that's what he asked one of the girls was did she have a butt? He said I think he asked her if she had a butt plug in while he's at work, and she was like no, but she don't mind a finger in her ass while she getting fucked. So that's where all that butt plug came from. So Yvonne was like what's a butt plug or something like that, and then we was like she said she Googled it. So I was teasing her and said, oh, shit, Yvonne going to get a butt plug. So the next time we on the show, Yvonne going to have a butt plug.
You're surprised how many...
Definitely not.
You'd be surprised how many women do that thing, though.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Just
everybody
just for GP.
Yeah.
I remember when I was... Yeah, I'm 47 now. I remember when I was like 15 years old, I was messing with this girl in Texas. I used to talk to her at work, and that's all. She used to be sitting on that joint all day. And that was back then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talking about years ago.
Yeah.
When that shit was taboo.
You say you 47 now and 15?
Yeah.
That was some years ago.
Yeah, you know what I mean? When that shit was taboo. Now.
Yeah. Well,
that's common practice.
Everybody got their own little kinks. You know,
Yeah.
we trying to get Yvonne to expose hers on the air. You know.
Definitely not.
One
I
day
think you
she
can do it.
gonna slip up.
You can't come at her directly. I think you could do it, but you can't come at her directly. She's too guarded. You gotta watch the questions. You gotta leave them open ended. You figure out something.
Oh shit! You sound like you. We need to. Hey, so where you from?
I'm from Memphis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all motherfuckers be wilding out there too.
Yeah, we wild out. You know, we have our fun.
All right.
We have our moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, let me ask you a question real quick. I'm in the middle of working all that. Do you think your whole view on life changes after after you go through something traumatic?
Do you think that your life changes? You said?
Yeah, do you think your view on life changes after you go through something traumatic, or is it just another obstacle you just overcome and keep it moving?
Well, you know what? It's supposed to change. Everything in life is supposed to change. Nothing's supposed to stay the same, man. Everything is supposed to change. If you keep the same friends that you had, now I'm not saying all of your friends. I'm not saying all your friends, because you got some real good friends that you grew up with, and you got some friends that you know you should have broke bond and shit, went your separate way, you know. And it's ironic you asked that question, because I talked about that today. This guy was saying about how he was losing friends left and right, and that's just, sometimes we as people, we get stuck on the fact of history. We be like, oh, we had history with this person. We want to die and ride and all of this for this person, this, that, and that. Sometimes when people leave out your life, God wants them out of your life because he has a blessing for you. And if you still with that person, or that person's still in your life, he feel that they'll benefit from that blessing. So sometimes you'll miss your blessing because you want to keep certain people around. Sometimes you just got to leave people where they at. Sometimes you just got to let people move on, and you have to move on. And that's part of becoming an adult. You know, that's part of becoming an adult.
Sacrifice. You know what? Part of evolution is sacrifice.
I didn't hear you say that.
That's definitely true. I said part of evolution is sacrifice.
Yeah. You gotta be willing to, and it's okay to have friends that you're no longer cool with. It's okay. It's part of growth. And if they can't understand that, then they don't need to be your friend, because they realize that everybody evolves at some point in time. Everybody has to change. And if you stay the same from the past 20 years, you wasted 20 years of your life. That's my personal opinion.
Very true. Very true.
You know, so I just think that, you know, it's cool to lose friends. It's all right. You know, there's nothing wrong.
Sometimes you lose family members too.
Yeah, and just because they blood don't mean that they should be in your life. Because I'm gonna tell you, I have a bunch of friends that are not blood, but they're more family than some of my blood family.
Wow,
not all family is blood. Not all family is blood. Remember that.
Oh yeah, I know it. I make it. Unfortunately, I make it a statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what we go through. It's what we go through in life, and what we come from out of it. That really creates that family bond. Especially since I got 5 girls. You know what I mean? 4 boys, 5 girls. I'm really protective of my daughters. I gotta watch who I keep around.
Yeah. You have to. You know, even your sons. You know, and I tell people, just because they're a male don't mean that they can't compromise. Don't think that they can't, you know, because there's boys and there's people that's not female that'll be attracted too. They're, you know, everybody thinks, oh, they're not trafficking boys, they're not doing this to men, they're not doing this.
Oh, no,
men are raped as well as women are raped. You know?
Yeah, they're doing it.
And it's just not talked about because it's not a masculine thing. So a man don't want to say, oh, yeah, I was raped, or she took advantage of me, and this, that, and the third. And another thing that was a big case, and I want to say it was in New York with this guy. He refused to really testify, but they wanted him to testify against this woman. And the woman said in her defense on why she didn't consider that was rape was because he had an ejaculation. And then they said that there's studies that show that a lot of women that have been raped do have orgasms. But that don't mean that they enjoyed it. It's just something that their body did. You understand what I'm saying? There's, you know, with men, shit, the wind blow the right way, our dick gonna get hard. You understand what I'm saying? So that don't, you know, so that don't mean nothing. You know? So
that's like, on another note, like one of my sons, my second oldest son, like he liked to follow in his dad's footsteps, you know. Some of them footsteps ain't the best footsteps in the world, you know, his dad did some things, whatever the case may be. He took a step in the direction I didn't want him to take, and I was ready to go at the people that he took the step with, and I had to get pulled back from the situation because by my people to tell me that I was wrong. Yeah. Because if I didn't want that to happen to him, then I should have grabbed his ass up way beforehand. You know what I mean? So
well,
you're right about having to look out for the boys too.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of times with fathers, there's a way that you tell your son of things that you did and the things that you don't want them to do because you did it. A lot of times we get into the habit of glorifying what our tender years. We'll be like, yeah, man, I remember when I smashed this girl on the roof and I did this to this girl, I finger banged this chick and this, that, and third. And at the same time, we're trying to teach our boys a lesson, but at the same time, in their eyes, in what they're listening to, it's like, damn, my pops was a monster. My pops was the man or whatever. It's a certain way that we have to approach our boys about certain things. Like when we know something that they've done or we see something that they do. And yeah, you don't want the streets to teach them because the streets should definitely teach them some crazy shit. You know, because think about how many times
teach them about their dad that you don't want them to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, and this, we just got to be able to know how to approach our sons. You know, we got to be able to be like, hey, listen, son, I see you might be interested in this, or I see you doing something like this. What's your interest in it? And when they say, well, you know, Dad, I want to do this, I want to do that, this, that, and the third, and be like, what do you think will come out of that? Because I'm going to tell you what I think will come out of it. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like we're telling them a story of, and then they might be inquisitive, like, Dad, how do you know that? Like, well, I was in a similar situation. You know, instead of us being like, yo, man, me and my boys, man, we had this girl, yo, we ran a train on her, and we did this, that, and the third. Now our son's looking at us like, damn, my pops was the fucking man. This nigga, him and his boys was doing all this crazy shit, you know? So we got to really understand that, you know, and trauma comes in different forms. It can come in a bad form, and it can come into what we think is a positive form. You understand what I'm saying? Because we have to break certain bonds. We have to break some traditional curses, some things that we're living with. You know, because most of us, come on, let's be real. We had an unhealthy sex life growing up because we really didn't know what the fuck we was doing. We might have halfway knew how to put on a goddamn condom. You understand what I'm saying? And for the most part, our parents told us, you better not come in here with no fucking girl pregnant, this, that, and the third. But we was out there doing all types of crazy shit. I'm pretty sure you got some crazy stories, because I know I got some crazy stories. I got some fucking crazy stories. Hello?
We lost him. His call dropped.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to keep talking because, you know, he might be listening on the radio or whatever. And you echoing, Yvonne. What the hell are you doing? What's that Michael Jackson Thriller shit you doing with your phone?
Wait, what? Am I echoing now?
No, you're not. But before you echoing this shit, I was
okay,
waiting
how
for
about
you
now?
to go, ha, 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 ha. Nah, you good.
Okay, good. Okay.
You know,
oh gosh, but yeah. So, in other news,
you know me, bro. I go on and on about some shit. You know, but yeah. In other news.
well, how was your day? Since we did decide to take that call, how was your day, SC?
My day was okay. I didn't get in the house until about 2:30 this morning, and I had to be up by 6 because I had to go for another evaluation for my physical therapy. I I think things are going to go a little different. I'm going to do more aquatics this time around compared to last time I did the physical therapy. I did aquatics, and I feel like it helped me out a lot. It takes a bunch of weight off you, the pounding. You could do squats and all this other stuff in the pool that I can't normally do outside the pool. So I went for that and things, so I got a bunch of appointments coming up with that, And besides that, I did some writing, and I came home. My sister wasn't feeling too good, so I babysat my little niece. You don't heard my niece, how she be acting over here sometimes. But and then I came home, so that was my day. How was your day, Yvonne? Hello. I think I lost you. Hello.
Let's see.
Hello. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Okay, so anyways, okay, so continue.
Oh. I don't even remember what I left more about. Oh, you asked me how my day was. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was saying happy October. I said happy October to you and everybody else. Because it's October now, and oh yeah, and I love this time of year. Oh my gosh, we are all over the place.
Oh, you're all over the place.
Snap out of it.
Your ass better snap out of it and get Bow Wow off your damn mind.
Okay, I should have never told you that. I should have never.
Come on. If I have a crazy day, I'm going to tell you everything. But like, yo, guess what, man? Guess who the fuck I tripped about? But, it's cool. Most people pick, other people, but you chose Bow Wow. It's cool. I'm nothing against the brother. I got nothing against him. He's good
I
people.
do. I don't want him in my dreams at all.
Shit, you must have wanted something because he left you in a puddle.
I can't believe Bow Wow out of all people. How? What the fuck?
Listen, so you said nobody ever did it. He did.
He looks like he can be my son. He looks like a child. His face is too youthful. Yeah. I need a man.
That might be Stella getting her groove back. He might be. You might need a little young thing, girl.
No, Stella needs a pop.
Cobwebs off that motherfucker.
Ain't no cobwebs. Stella needs a pop with some salt and pepper in that beard.
Nah, you say you need a motherfucker in a wheelchair.
Not no baby face.
That
no.
Motherfucker can't do nothing. That nigga can't do nothing for you.
No way.
It wasn't wild. You hunched his face. That was about it. What?
Well, oh my gosh. Well, I definitely want to say that, and it seemed like I'm repeating myself over and over about my dating status and about, hey, I'm single and I'm not going to, date anybody until 2024. I'll just have to see what the connection is looking like. But it seems like so many people are interested in me. Guys, no, don't. I can't blame you. Come on, look at me. But this is not the year. This is not the year. I have so many guys that are interested in me. Oh my gosh, so many guys.
Hey,
Guys, please don't embarrass yourself. Just stop
you're an
it. Quit
attractive
thinking
looking
that you have a
woman,
chance.
Yvonne. You're an attractive looking woman. Don't do that. I say you're an attractive looking woman. You know.
Well,
you
you're a
got these
very
guys,
smart man.
you know.
I can see that your eyesight works very good.
Oh yeah, I got 20/20.
You got great eyesight, I can see. But
yeah. Eyesight, insight, farsight, you know, every sight you can think of, I got it.
But I've made it known that I'm not going to date anybody this year. I'm not trying to be serious with anyone, and no one is paying attention. Everybody want to do what they want to do. Not this year, guys.
They want hunch on you, girl.
Well, okay. So before we bring on our guests, is there anything else that you want to say before our guests come on the show?
No, not really. You know, brush your teeth before you go to bed, floss after every meal. No, that's it. I got nothing before.
Okay, all right. So I do see that the guest is on, and I'm going to let her in.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, it's Michelle.
Hi,
Hey,
Michelle.
Michelle.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're great. Thanks for asking.
Great.
I'm doing good.
Good.
I hope you ain't. You know, I hope we ain't make you think like, who the hell podcast am I on? You know, I know you done heard some of our conversation, but this is just me and Yvonne. You know,
okay.
How we talk and how we act.
Sure, no problem. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us something about yourself?
Sure. Well, my name is Michelle Steiner. I live in Pennsylvania with my husband, Ron, and our two cats, Jack and Sparrow. And and I work as a paraeducator in a school. This year I'm working with 6th grade students, and some of them have disabilities. And I'm also a disability writer. I have my own blog called Michelle's Mission, where I write about having a learning disability. And, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, what made you get into that field?
One of the things that I definitely made me want to get into that field was my own experience with having a learning disability. I was diagnosed with having one when I was in kindergarten, and I struggled in school socially and academically. And I knew that I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to help other people that had disabilities.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I had worked for a company called Rescue. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but we dealt with adults that had disabilities, and we used to help them. They would go into the world and working field, and some of us would go on sites and stuff, you know. And I found that as an interesting choice. You know, I only did it for a short period of time, you know, and the crazy thing is you get so attached to them, and they become like your family. You know, I had one guy, he passed away a couple of years ago. His name was Algier, and he was like, you know, grumpy old man, but to me, that was my heart, you know. So I get it, you know, I get that, you know, that you want to help, and that field is a very interesting field, you know. So my next question is, what do you when you said that you write books with disabilities, you said, how did you explain that again? Say that again.
Sure. I'm a disability writer, I mainly write, I have my own blog called Michelle's Mission where I post disability articles, and I also have my love of photography is on there too. And I've also had other articles published on the Mighty, Nonverbal Learning Project, and some other sources where I get to write that. And I don't have my own book yet, but I did have 3 stories published in an anthology this summer called Rediscovering Your Purpose. And in that book, we had people that were taking a look at their lives at a workshop, and they had writing prompts where they had that chance to be able to talk about some of their experiences in life. And the book is for purchase on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you going to continue to put out more books, or on your own instead of doing the anthology? Are you going to venture out and do your? Okay.
Eventually, I would like to do a book. I would especially like to do ones on dyscalculia, which is one of my disabilities, which is a math-based learning disability. And not a lot of people are aware of that. We're familiar with dyslexia and reading-based ones, but a lot of times people haven't heard of that. And I think it's really important that, especially for children, that they get that chance to understand what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you pick the subject that you want to talk about as far as the disability? Do you just choose a disability and you focus on that, or you focus on your own disability and talk about that more?
I focus more on my own disability and some of the challenges that I may face. I talk a lot about that, and I try to use metaphors to explain what some of those things are. But I can also write about other disabilities as well. But I tend to focus on my experiences and things that have happened with me.
Okay. So do you have any books that you got coming up? Like I know you said you would love to write one, but do you have an idea or a date that you were thinking about putting one out?
Well, one of my writing groups has told me in November that I should focus in on writing the children's books. So I have a story, but I would like to try to revise that and try to send that out. It's a children's story.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Would you want to share your personal experience, or
Sure. I would love to. As I said, I have a learning disability. I was diagnosed with having one whenever I was in kindergarten. My teacher noticed that I struggled with things like tying my shoes and anything math related. I just wasn't quite getting a lot of the concepts. And I was my parents' first child, so they didn't know what to base typical development on. And I can remember I was tested for having a learning disability, and sure enough, I definitely have one. I can remember having to repeat kindergarten that following year in a new school in our district. I began to receive specialty instruction and accommodations, and I really felt whenever I was young, I spent a great deal of my time being frustrated. I just wanted to learn like everybody else and make my parents happy, but it was really hard. And I thought life was always going to be difficult, and having this disability was going to be something that was really going to just hinder me from being successful. I also struggled socially in school. The school that I went to was a very small community. They didn't value diversity, and I couldn't hide that I had to go to learning support for classes, and having that made me stick out in a negative way. So the bullying started when I was really young. And, yeah, it was And when I was younger, it was more, okay, I don't want to be your friend, or you're not invited to a birthday party. But as I got older, school got a lot easier for me academically. I was in more regular ed classes, but a lot of the bullying really increased as a lot of the groups became more defined. Thankfully, I had an outside group that was an arts group in the neighboring school district, and I started hanging out with them, and that encouraged me to reach out to more groups in the community, and I found a writing group that I'm still involved with 20-some years later.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I got a question for you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, just go ahead. What's your question? Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to figure out, like, you know, like when you're younger, you learn how to cope with certain things, and you just don't really know how to cope with it. Now that you're an adult, what advice would you give a child that found out they have a learning disability or whatever, that the age that you was at? Now that you're an adult, how would you think you would explain that to a child, the age that you was when you found out?
I would explain to a child that they have a brain that is going to, or it's going to be a little harder to learn, or they have a brain that's just wired differently, and they just learn in a different way. And things are going to get better, and we're going to find ways to be able to help you learn, and just to assure the child that they're very smart.
Okay, so now that you're an adult, do you still feel like you struggle with your disability, or you think that you have a little more under control?
I do have times where I struggle as an adult. I can remember college was hard because a lot of people didn't think I could go to college because of my disability, and I was afraid of that myself. But things can be still difficult. I still struggle with things such as math, budgeting. That's really difficult. It can be hard when I work with my students. I'm not the person that can really help them much with their math, and that can be a challenge. I usually have to tell them, do not ask me for help on math, but come to me with English. So sometimes that can be hard. I'm not able to drive because I also have visual perception issues, and it's not in my eyes, but it's in my brain. So things such as driving right and left and just coordinating all those things together are really hard for me. And I also have limited hand dexterity in both of my hands. So unlocking doors can be really hard for me. Anything with the fine motor skills is tough. Handwriting is hard. But for all of those things, I have found ways that I can adapt, and I can be able to work and be able to find a way to go where I need to be able to go to, and just be able to do all those things in life. And it's just it's not that I can't do them, I just have to find the different way.
Okay. Do you find yourself, because you know what your disability is, that you're stronger in other things than the weakness that you have in your disability?
Yes, definitely. Writing has always been something that I've been really good with. I can remember my dad would read me stories every night, and one of the first things I did was I wrote a story when I was in second or third grade about a dinosaur. And my dad said, wow, that's really good. And that gave me that confidence to keep on writing, because that was the first thing I found out that I was good at. And I can remember in my writing group, I had a friend that told me, you should really write about having a learning disability. And I said, I don't know, that's kind of personal. But when I finally wrote about my struggle with limited hand dexterity, and I had that first article published on the Mighty, it was one of the most healing things I've ever done. And I also find that because I can't drive, I can notice other details when I'm in the car with my husband. We'll be in the car, and I'll say, babe, did you see that? And he'll be like, no, I'm focused on the road. But he is getting better at paying attention to things now and pointing things out to me. And I'll get a chance to go and take a picture of a flower if I don't have a ride somewhere. And sometimes I might have seen it in the car or just sometimes on my walks. And if I would have been driving, I wouldn't get that chance to take that picture. And I have a lot of people that tell me, you can bring out details in a flower that I miss. And so I put my photography on my blog as well. And I also have had that featured in magazines. And I also was invited to a gallery crawl where I had a chance to show my photography.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I know, like, when we were taught, when we went through our training, they called it, I think it was inclusion, right? They considered the community inclusive. Okay, so when we were taught, they said that sometimes with that community, and we had to refer to them as a community because they are. And even though they think and respond differently than us, they still function in their own community the way they do. Has there ever been a time and a behavior, they call it a behavior when they act out or whatever, and you got to redirect them. And that's what it's called, the redirection. Have you ever had a situation that you dealt with somebody you triggered a behavior, and it triggered your behavior, or it triggered something in you?
Well, I think sometimes whenever I am working with a lot of the students, it's almost like hearing a recording of myself at that age. Sometimes they'll come in saying, I hate my learning disability, or I hate my individual education plan. And that kind of brings back a lot of things that I felt whenever I was that age. But one of the things that we really try to do is I get that chance to kind of go when somebody might be feeling that way. I can kind of I can definitely be empathetic with them, and I can say, having that disability isn't the worst thing. And I can just now see all the pieces that came together from maybe the pain that I felt, and just seeing how I can work that out for somebody else.
Okay. Now, the inclusive students that you work with, are they from a group home setting, or are they from their family setting?
The students that I work with are from their family settings. Most of the ones that I deal with are in learning support environment. A lot of them have autism. Some of them have, and learning disabilities are popular as well. We do get other health impairments such as hearing impaired and visual impairments as well. But learning disabilities and autism are probably the biggest variety we see, along with behavioral issues. Sometimes we get students that have behavioral health diagnosis, and they have come from some pretty rough demographics.
Okay. How did you come out and say to the world, I have a disability, I know I have a disability, and I'm proud to know that I have a disability, but I know how to handle my disability?
That was a very slow process for me with that, because for so long I wanted to hide that I had a disability. And when I was in my 20s, I went back to university after I moved back in with my parents for financial reasons. And I decided that this was the time to use the disability accommodations that were out there and to advocate for myself. And I would tell my professors that they didn't know me, that who I was, and that I had a learning disability. And I found if I told people that I had a disability that needed to know, that I would have a better experience. My grades improved, and more people understood what my needs were. And then when I got that when I had my bachelor's degree, I really felt definitely very confident in myself. And it was just through sharing my story, taking my friends' advice, and getting that story published, and just sharing it. in writing groups and online, and just talking about it has always been really helpful for me. But a part of me had to accept that I had a learning disability and I wasn't going to be neurotypical. And that was a grieving process, because for so long, that's what I wanted to be.
Mm. Okay, I got another question.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you ever been in okay, so it's a two-part question. Have you ever been in a setting where you were on a field trip with your students,
mm-hmm.
and you notice that? Because one thing I realized, people pick up on what they want to pick up on when there's something different about a person. And sometimes with that community is visual. You can visually see that there's something wrong, or they'll do something and you be like, hey, what's going on here? You know, have you ever been in a setting where you felt that a behavior took place and they were treated differently by somebody, what we would quote unquote say that they were normal compared to your student that had a disability?
I would say that sometimes that can be really. I've worked with visually impaired students before, and when we would go out on community outings, sometimes my students would be afraid to use their cane because they didn't like that people would look at them and know that they had a disability, and some of the things that they might have come up and said. But I really haven't seen too much where people have treated them differently, at least from what I've seen. But they definitely have felt that, and they had that hesitation because they didn't want to appear different, and they certainly didn't want to have people come up and ask a lot of questions.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that is because I know I mentioned my old client, LG, and the only reason why I said his name, because when you're dealing with that community, you're not supposed to say their name. You're supposed to go by their initials, their first and their last, their first initial and their last initial. And the only reason why I mentioned his name is because he's deceased right now, you know, and it ain't like he's going to change tomorrow, but he's deceased, and that's why I brought it up. And one day I had him in Whole Foods, and you really couldn't tell that there was nothing wrong with him, and he had a behavior. And I realized that how the eyes went on him, and everybody, you started whispering and everything in that, in the third. And that used to upset me because I'd be like, yo, just because you can tell, you know, he's still human. He still has feelings. He still has emotions. And I said some things, and I shouldn't have said it. And then what happened was, and I'm going to tell you, when you deal with that community, you do anything wrong, they will find out where you work at, and they will contact headquarters. And that's exactly what happened. The home manager said, hey, listen, I need to talk to you, SV. I said, what's up? She said, listen, we got a complaint that something happened at Whole Foods, and you either cursed out somebody or you said something. And I said, yeah, I did do it. I said, I did it. And I feel like people should understand that everybody is not, quote, unquote, normal. There's some people that have problems that they don't know how to deal with it. And it really made me mad. And that was my first time me experiencing that, where I outright seen people like damn near jump on him on verbally and staring and everything else.
Yep.
And I did. I got upset and I said some things I shouldn't have said. And I told him, I don't give a F who y'all calling. But I just wanted them to get that point across because he's still human. That was my buddy. Like, that was my bosom buddy. My days off, I would come get him from the group home, and me and him go to McDonald's. But I did that on purpose because I would get him riled up and bring him back to the group home. Because I knew he was going to act up. And then he'd be like, yo, why would you do that? They was like, yo, you know he was perfectly fine until you brought that. And then I come in the next day, they tell me what he was doing, you know. So, yeah, that's the reason why I asked that question, because I know people deal with it differently, and I don't know if you've ever been in that situation. And you being the caregiver, caretaker, the provider, whatever you want to call yourself, that hurts you because you realize because you deal with them and that they become family, and it's amazing how these strangers can become your family, and you be like, yo, I love this dude or I love this girl, and you just can't explain it. Where people be like, yo, they just, somebody got a disability you work with. No, it's a little deeper than that.
Right.
Now I got another question. Oh, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying. You develop.
I was saying, no, you develop a connection with them, definitely. Mm-hmm. I think of sweet, especially some of the kids that I help out during the day. I couldn't do math in this one class, and they're all coming around like, oh, do you need help? How can we help you? And I was like, oh, this is so sweet.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
I know you had a favorite.
Oh, I've had many favorites throughout the year, definitely. But yes, I've definitely had a lot of favorites that I love working with, and it just your day, it's just when you see them, your day just instantly brightens, and you just love working with them. I can remember I had one student that I worked with. She is graduated, but she loved work. She was wonderful to be with, and I was a one-on-one with her for a number of years, and she was one of my favorites. We had a very, very smart, very bright, and I love working with her. And every year I get, you definitely have our favorites that we work with. We just have to not let anybody else know who they are.
Exactly. But you know what? Yep. They know. They know that they're your favorite. They definitely know that. And when she said the one-on-one, that's exactly what it means. One-on-one. Whatever that person does, you're with them, you're assisting them. Because you're not supposed to do for them. You're supposed to assist them in all their daily activities.
Exactly,
now, I got another question for you.
Okay.
How hard was it for you to see them either move on to another class or them leave the school?
I have to say, graduation was really sad with my last with some of the one-on-ones that I had. We had a lot of fun together for a couple of years, so that was really sad. But it's nice to know that I was a part of that, and that she was able to move on. And it is hard whenever you do see kids and you like them, your favorites, and then they go off to a different grade or a different class, or sometimes my schedule might get switched, so I don't always get to have that interaction with them. So it can be really hard with that.
Now, have you ever had a peer tell you, hey, listen, how did you cope with this person? Because I'm having the biggest problems with them. Did you ever realize that some of them, even with change with them, was different and difficult because they didn't know how to express themselves and they started acting out with somebody else and you had to step in?
I've had, with some of my students, some of the behaviors that they had, there's just sometimes you can have different experiences with them. I can remember we had a student that she had behaviors where she had trouble getting along with peers and some staff, and I would be able to go in with her and be able to distract her. And everybody knew that we had a relationship where I could go in and at least get her a little more calm than maybe somebody else could. And I would be like, oh, okay, let's go. Okay, you're upset. Do you want to go take a walk? All right, so what's going on? And sometimes the other staff was not able to do that, but that's something I could do.
Okay. Before we close out, because this was a very interesting conversation, and is there anything else that you would like to share?
I would just like Sure. I would just love to tell people that have disabilities to know what they want and to be able to find a way to do that, and that just to hold on because things get better. And for those who are supporting someone with a disability, I just want to encourage them to just keep on supporting them and encouraging them to be the best they can be.
Yes. And make sure that you stay on top of their BSPs, their psychs,
Yes.
their appointments, their doctor's appointments. Those are very important because that helps your child or your young adult or your adult maneuver through life. Because if it's not on paper, then it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
In that community, if it's not on paper, if it's not documented, then they can't treat it. They can't do anything for them. So anybody that's having a problem with a child or whatever, just make sure that you stay on top of that, you know. But Michelle,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead. What was you going to say?
Yeah, I was just agreeing. Exactly.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, no problem. We've come to the end of the interview, and I appreciate you coming on to the show and sharing your stories with us. And maybe it can help other people that are not familiar with the community or might be interested in getting involved in the community. Is there any information that you would like to share, any contact information or email or anything that somebody can reach out to you and say, hey, listen, I have a child that I think might have a disability. How do I go about, getting this child evaluated or getting the doctors in place that I need to have in place? So do you have any information you would like to share that people can contact you?
Sure. You can find me at my blog, michellesmission.net, or you can email me at msteiner441@gmail.com.
All right. And again, Michelle, we thank you so much for coming on the show.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it.
Okay. All right, everyone, we want to thank you all so much for tuning in to the show. Again, that was Michelle Steiner, and that does it for us, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.